Good evening, everyone. Treasure Troller here from the partially mask-wearing militant state of Michigan. It's back. That's right, Alone is back. So I had a chance to watch the Season 9, Episode 1 today. I didn't take any notes. I happened to just remember it, and I was able to watch it. I can't think of what it's called, but basically on Charter, and you have to go to the channels and whatever. But anyways, I watched it. Few things about this season that seems to be I guess a little bit different than seasons past. And I could be wrong on these, because it's not like I go back and watch the previous seasons to be right on a few of these points. But first, there seems to be a lot more food sources on the island rather than fishing. And they seem to have quite a bit of success right from the start. Now, how that plays out in the end, I don't know. But there seems to be more food source, which leads me to one conclusion, which we'll talk about later. So the first thing is the contestants. And I know there's a couple people in here that are in the survival thing, so I'm not sure. It's either one that comments as two people, or there's actually two people. About how they're going to comment on this stuff. The first thing is, as far as the contestants go, Yuri of this group seems to be the least impressive, which means by my kiss of death factor, where the people that I predict to win never win, Yuri is probably this year's season's winner, because he certainly will not be my pick from the start as someone that lasts. And then there's the crazy aunt. I'm impressed with her bow skills, I must admit that, but I don't see her winning, but that also kind of comes into the end factor as well. Then you have the three. You have Benji, the youngin, and was this Juan Pablo, or the kid that grew up in Mexico and is now living in Canada. In the beginning, I wasn't too impressed with Youngin, because he had way too much splunking skills and mountain climbing stuff, and it's like, well, that doesn't translate too well into Alone. But he seems to be fairly decent with the bow. But he does have one thing that none of the other contestants actually have. He's as close to an orphan as any contestant ever. So he does get the orphan factor. He does have a girlfriend, but I think of the 5 contestants that they showed last night, only one was actually married. So Pablo gets the orphan factor, which to me is a huge factor. Survival skills, I don't know, but these guys that are shooting chipmunks, basically hard shots on chipmunks, I'm pretty impressed by. So he can shoot. Then you have Benji, and I'm pretty impressed with Benji. he seems to have, I'm not gonna start saving food. I'm gonna eat. He's got good bow skills. I'm not sure how the I'm gonna wait a month before I build the shelter thing works. It never comes out right when they're in a hurry, but if he's gonna build something, he might want to start, chopping a few trees down right now, saving himself the big Christmas rush. And then you have, and I rank him up there as far as this group. I rank him maybe second. And then you have Pablo. As far as this season goes, right now in this group, Pablo is a beast. Pablo, spending 100 days out on your own, with nothing but your survival skills, is pretty impressive. And it's been up in Canada. This is the same thing, kind of the same type of skills that guy from a couple years ago that won it. The guy that I think he shot an elk. And then he's not married. He does have the girlfriend, but I don't rate as high as the girlfriend as the spouse. Benji's married. I wish she would have given him the if you tap out because you're homesick, I'm divorced. I would have declared him the immediate season 9 winner. But that didn't happen. But getting back to the abundance of game. I'm sitting there watching, and all of these guys are having success. And these aren't animals that are going to be gone once the snow flies. The squirrels are going to be around, the grouse is going to be around. I'm thinking, wow, there seems to be a lot more food. I'm not sure, I was curious about how a lot of them didn't take much fishing equipment. I'm not sure how much fishing is going to be able to get done on this at this place. There doesn't seem to be a lot of, so far anyways, a lot of great fishing spots. But anyways, there seemed to be a lot of food, and to me that's the great equalizer. All the contestants, and I'm saying that as in male and female, have an opportunity to do well. And I think that might be one of the reasons why they chose Labrador as the spot. It's going to depend. I just keep thinking back a couple years ago. Basically, the lady tapped out because she really couldn't break through the ice. There looks like there might be a lot of water sources that aren't going to freeze over, which eliminates that. There seems to be a fairly abundant food source, which slightly takes the starvation thing out of it. So this one could be more of an equalizer year. Not that any other year wouldn't have surprised me if one of the female contestants won. They've had very good contestants. I've always placed them, like last year, I can't think what her name was. I keep thinking Kari or Carrie. I don't know. But I always have placed them in the top 2 or 3. It's just that taking down the big game was pretty much game over. The other thing that they're doing this year is, I think they must be listening to my vlogs are watching them. That is the History Channel, the Alone Producers, because they're also offering 2 different shows along with the Alone show that go along with the show, and that's one is a more extended, heart-filled, tear-jerking episodes of why they tapped out, so you can get a real feel for the homesickness. And then they're also going to have another show on their shelters and the good and the bad and the ugly of their shelters. So if you feel like watching the tap out ones, I guess you should have a box of Kleenex by your side, and you can hear about all the homesickness and how they really didn't know what alone meant until they were alone, and how $500,000 really doesn't mean that much when you miss your family, even though it's maybe another 2 weeks and you're going to be there. But irregardless, they'll have a show on there to at least allow you to empathize a little bit more with the tap out contestants. So I have to admit, I'm a little bit excited about this year. They've taken away some of the real bad mistakes from last season, and maybe this one is a little bit more unsurvivable. But it's always these guides that seem to be on the show. And also, geez, I just had a thought. They should have like a live calendar, like each month you could have one of these, maybe take pictures of them in their day 35 and their full beards and their hair down to their knees, and I'm talking about the men now, not the women. They're in dirty, and they could have them pose with a fish or some antlers, and there's 10 of them, so that brings up 10 of the months, and the other 2, I don't know. Would have to think what the other 2 might be. Maybe one would be like a group picture of the supplies they take, and maybe the 12th picture could be the first homesick tap out contestant, or maybe the winner. We'll give the winner 1 month. And maybe 1 picture of the whole crew, and then the other 10 pictures would be the best look they have at like day 40. So these Alone Producers that are watching, that picked up on to try to make Treasure Troller feel bad or empathize with the tap out for being homesick, those producers that are watching, work on the calendar thing. The calendar thing should be next. So with that, this is Treasure Troller saying aloha and good day.